So I don't know what kind of season you're in right now, whether it's a season of joy and excitement and just life is thriving, or you're in a season of difficulty and heaviness. And if you're in that season, I want to speak to you right now, and I just want to say, hey, don't give up, hold on, keep going. You've got this, you can do this. And I actually really want to speak into this reality of there is a maker of the universe, God, who hungers to get involved with your messiness. He sees you, he sees the pain, the struggle, the frustration, and he's like, his heart is broken for these circumstances that you're going through. And there's this reality that God wants to get involved and he wants to get engaged. And recently our church, we were just working through the book of James, and at the beginning of James, he's talking to people who are going through a brutal situation. And he says, you know, if you're wrestling, if you need help, ask God and God will speak into that. There's this reality though that you know, following God does not mean life is always going to be easy. There is evil, there is evil in the world and frustration, and that's the byproduct of the broken world that we live in. But there's this beautiful reality that God says, I want to still be a part of this person's life. I want to be engaged. And so the creator of the universe says, hey, you know, amongst that pain, amidst that suffering, I want to be there with you. There's this encouragement that he says to the early church, and he says to them, you know, be patient, stand firm, because the Lord's coming is near. I love this because it's this idea of standing firm, knowing that God's coming and he's going to come and rescue. He's going to make all that was wrong right, and he's going to rescue you. If you're in a season of struggling and hopelessness and discouragement, holding on does not mean just sinking in and just being tough or ignoring the problems you're encountering. Holding on and saying, you know, God, I don't know how I'm going to make today or tomorrow or this next month. And saying, God, I need your help. There's this reality in the book of James where God says, you know, he sees the injustice and the heaviness, and he's preparing and he's getting ready to help and rescue. If you're wrestling today, I want to invite you to reach out, and there's a church who wants to be a part of this and help and just chat with you and talk with you. But more importantly, there is a God who wants to hear from you. And he doesn't always promise to make life easy, but what he does promise is to give peace in those circumstances, in those storms. And he promises to work with you through that. I want to pray a prayer over you today. God, life is messy, chaotic, and we desperately need you to show up in certain areas of our lives. God, we ask that you speak into these circumstances, that we may hear your truths and not be distracted by our insecurities or the lies around us. God, help us know that it is your voice speaking to us by giving us a peace that is deeply rooted. God, we want to also say thank you. We understand that we're finite beings and you're the creator of the universe, and I'm blown away by the reality that you want to get involved with our messiness.